Made by Mike with 2 eyes. Hi guys, this is Mike, and a couple of months ago I did a shootout between a bunch of rock/metal guitars, and out of that bunch I really fell in love with and kept the ESP LTD EC1000. I think this is an awesome guitar. It has great playability, great craftsmanship, and a very fair price value. But even back then I knew that eventually I would swap the pickups for something else. So this guitar comes loaded with a Seymour Duncan SH1 59 in the neck and a Seymour Duncan SH4 JB in the bridge. So I have to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the 59. I know that it's vintage voiced, but I think it sounds quite dull. And the JB, while I can appreciate that it's a classic, first of all, I do have it in another guitar already, and second of all, for this guitar, I wanted something tighter, meaner, something more powerful, more modern, I guess. Okay, so we already checked out different neck pickups in the first part of the series. If you haven't seen this video, you can do so by clicking in the top right corner, and today we're going to check out different bridge pickups. Here are the contenders. The stock bridge pickup, the Seymour Duncan SH4 JB, is what some people call the Celestian greenback of guitar pickups. Well, I call it that. It delivers a very mid-focused, very warm sound that sits perfectly in a mix, but is what some might say very old school. The Seymour Duncan Custom 5 I tried for my huge ongoing humbucker shootout and really fell in love with it. I'd say it's from the same sound family as the JB, but has way more bass, a really strong and roaring midsection and pleasing highs. I'm very curious how it performs in this guitar, especially on high gain settings. The Seymour Duncan Full Shred is another pickup that I tried in my project guitar for the huge humbucker shootout and really liked. It's hot, but not so hot that you couldn't play cleans with it. It has a mega defined low end, not a lot of mids, but really nice and round highs. So a very scooped pickup that is passive, but sounds almost as defined as an active one. Very curious how it sounds here. Then we have the Suhr Aldrich, which is Suhr's hottest pickup, and yet it's very defined and has great note separation, even when you throw a lot of distortion onto it, according to the website. And the last contender is the Bare Knuckle Bootcamp Brute Force. I was really surprised by this pickup in my project guitar because it sounded quite different than all of the above. Hot but very defined, with a healthy but not overpowering amount of mids and bass, and very distinct sounding highs. Looking forward to this pickup in this guitar. Okay, so I did record a couple of different samples with these pickups. The details of that will be in the description and the timestamps in the comment section. Enjoy the samples, and after that we'll talk about what we heard. Okay guys, welcome back. I hope you like the samples. Here are now my opinions on these humbuckers. So, the SH4JB is, like I said, a classic vintage sounding pickup. It has a medium-high amount of gain and a very pronounced midsection. That's why it was and is used on countless records. This pickup really sits nicely in a mix. Having said that, for this guitar I want something a little bit more modern and more defined. The Custom 5 delivers all that. It has more bass, a roaring midsection and not too harsh highs. This is definitely a contender for this guitar. The Full Shred is another pickup that I can only speak good about. It's a passive pickup that is as clean and tight as an active one and just as unforgiving. It's not the hottest pickup in the Shootout. I would say it's on par with the JB, but totally different voiced. This pickup is scooped AF and fits perfectly to 90s style metal or everything really where we don't need a lot of mids but a tight bass and clear highs. For me though, I wanted an upgrade to the JB, something from the same sound family, and this pickup isn't even from the same planet. It's like the negative of the JB, totally different. The Suhr Aldrich comes close to what I imagine. To be completely honest, and you can go back to the samples if you don't believe me, this and the Custom 5 are almost like identical twins. There are really only tiny differences between them. Both have a driven yet very tight bass section, brutal mids and present but not too harsh highs. Just as the Custom 5, this is a potential candidate for this guitar. And the last pickup, the Bare Knuckle Bootcamp Brute Force, is another great pickup. It features a tamed midsection in comparison to the JB Custom 5 and Aldrich, but sharper highs. I also feel there is less bass here, so it's not really scooped, but because of the highs, very present sounding. I think this is the perfect pickup if you have a darker sounding guitar and want to brighten things up. In that case, I would totally try it out. But for this guitar, I really want something with that crushing midsection, and this it is not. Okay, so my winner in this shootout is, drumroll, the Suhr Aldrich Bridge. I went back and forth between this and the Custom 5, and here are my observations. The Aldrich has a tad more bass, which gives it this oomph when you hit the lower registers. Plus, and I have to say that totally unscientifically, it just sounds more expansive. The Custom 5 has a tiny little bit more drive, but also, in direct comparison to the Aldrich, you can hear that it doesn't have the richness in the midsection as the Aldrich has. Here's a short direct comparison to show you what I mean. Okay guys, so that was basically it. I hope you liked this video. Please let me know what you think of my choice. And as always, like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.